Hi everybody and welcome to today's technical analysis, and today we'll be looking at one of our favorite coin, which is BNB. BNB and BNB has been having a very nice ride. So if you like the channel, welcome to Crypto University. If you like the channel, please click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, share with your friends, and let's go to the video today, right? Our favorite coin BNB has been holding quite well, right? Reached its all-time high against BTC in a few days, right? But against the dollar value, we've been seeing a steady decline, and we knew that such will come because we've seen our oscillator has been moving both downwards, right? And even our RSI is moving downwards, right? Indicators tells us that we still have a little more downward price action to go as regards BNB. As you can see, this is the monthly time frame, and as you can see, BNB holding quite well, right? Still in the range though. If we come back to our lower time frame, gives us a more or better analysis of what is happening with BNB. As we can see, we closed the monthly time frame down still in our range, from our range of 330, 340 down to about 256, right? But we can see we are really in a dangerous place, and there's high likelihood uh, 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 BNB is heading for 182. As we can see, every single point in time where we went above, or where we hit the EMA rebounds, we actually came back to hit the low of the EMA rebounds, and now we are down and we are hitting the EMA rebounds even as a support, right? If we break this, sorry, even as a resistance, if we break this resistance for the EMA rebounds, we're going or as high as 488 for BNB. But if we are not able to overcome this resistance, then BNB is hopefully heading for 187. From what we can see that we've really just been going sideways as regards BNB for a few days right now. As you can see, BNB has been sideways and just a sideways price action, but there's higher likelihood that we could see maybe a price to the upside and then some little dump, right? Because everything has to reset. But as we can see on our oscillator is pointing to the top, right, on the 2 weeks time frame for BNB. If we move over to the 1 week, and while we're checking some of these time frames, because we know that if we really want to get our analysis right, we must begin from the higher time frames down to the lower time frames. And if we begin on the weekly, we begin to see that for BNB, right, the EMA rebounds had already turned bearish. The EMA turned bearish at around June. No, just around May for BNB, and we still have little downward price action to go. We can see that, yeah, we'll be moving in sideways action for a while, down from 336 down to the lows of 250, and we'll be moving in that sideways action. But we can see inevitably we have a lot of support for BNB at the 209 region. So probably maybe you move up a little bit, right, to touch the next resistance at 314, and then we move down in a sharp turn to around 207 stroke 217 region, right? If we go down to the lower time frames, to the 3 days, gives us a clearer picture of what's happening, how that we are still in a range for BNB, and there's a higher likelihood probably we might even move to the 325 region this month. As we can see, the relative strength index has been moving quite sideways, and you can see our oscillator moving to the top. So there's high likelihood a lot of buy orders, or a lot of buy volume is coming in for BNB, and we could probably see BNB in the next few weeks at the 333 region. So probably we should be expecting a higher upside for BNB. And if we go to the daily time frames telling us a lot about BNB, telling us that we're already turning bullish, right, on the daily time frame. So there's higher likelihood, but we can see that we have a very strong resistance at the 300 region, at the $300 region. So probably we'll just move in this sideways for a while. As you can see, uh, oscillators, right, is still turning upwards, but there's high probability we need to go down and correct. So we just have some little upside for BNB from the daily before we move over. From the price action that's going to happen in the next few hours, probably we could see a BNB easily move over to the 291 stroke 300 region. So there's more upside for BNB from what you could see from the chart in the next few hours. So expect a big major move for BNB, probably to the upside. As you can see, the EMA rebound is turning bullish. We have a lot of support below this region. So it's safe to say we can take some longs or buy BNB and probably be taking our profits at around the 299 stroke 300 region, as we have a lot of resistance at that period. So bullish price action for BNB in the next few days, stroke few hours, right? We still, as you can see, both from the RSI and the and the uh oscillators, as you can see, we still have probably more bullish price action to go. If we go down to the 6 hour time frame, as you can see, we've been in this range, still ranging, could break the range and probably come to our $300 mark, then come down. So as we've been saying, trace the range till it breaks, right? Be careful around this season because it's a ranging market and there's a lot of liquidations, a lot of whales are trying to liquidate people. So be careful around this period, right? And be careful as you trade. Don't use high leverage. As you can see, as we said, everything is bullish even on the smaller time frame. We have huge support at the 298 stroke 300 region. If we move over to this other chart, one problem, as we can see, we have for BNB, right, is on the weekly. So we said probably we have a little more upward price action around 300, 326 mark where we have our resistance before we come down. As you can see, the stochastic is still overbought on the weekly. So probably it's still turning up. So you can have a little bullish price action, as you can say, confirming with our other chart before we move downward. So we should be expecting probably a bullish price action for BNB in the next few hours. As you can see, on the 3 days, we have our oscillator moving up. So as you can see, coinciding with our next target, that our BNB to get to around 328. As you can see, the stock RSI can move higher, still has higher to move a little bit before coming down. We could see our MACD is forming a bullish divergence even on the 3 days mark. On the daily, we could see that we are really overbought. Probably we're going to range and correct on the stock RSI a little bit. As you can see, we're already at the top of the range, and probably we can correct to around 263 there, around about, and before we have further movement price action even on the daily. But our daily is telling us we're very oversold, but we can remain even oversold for a long time on our daily time frame. So be careful at that. Begin to watch that. If we move over even to the 12-hour time frame, we could see that our oscillator is also overbought, right? And then so we could actually remain here for a long time before we come down. But just be aware that probably we still have more downward price action to go. But for in the meantime, we're expecting a little push to the upside or to just continue the range. If we go down to even our little time frames on our 4 hours, you could see that bullish price action is still expected. As you can see, same thing till our 300 before we have a correction. So if you like the channel or if you love the analysis, please click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. As we see, we still have major bullish price action for BNB in the next few days. So if you like our analysis, please click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, share with your friends. Thank you and God bless.